Hi folks, I'm Spencer, and on today's episode of Cult Mania we're looking at the micro-budget masterpiece that is Peter Jackson's Bad Taste. Filmed over weekends over the course of a 4-year period, Bad Taste tells the tale of the boys, a sort of collective group of oddballs who were tasked with stopping potential alien invasions. They've recently been sent to this small coastal town that appears to be abandoned, apart from a bunch of cannibalistic human-looking dudes in blue shirts and jeans who are chasing after a charity collector. That was actually the original plot of a short film that they set out to make, the cannibals chasing after this bloke who's come to do his charity collection, and then this film just sort of spiralled out of control. They added this whole thing to do with the boys and the alien invasion plot. Yeah, there are these weird alien things that have come to Earth, hidden themselves as these cannibal human people, and they've come to harvest human flesh for intergalactic fast food. As you can tell, this is not a film that's taking itself seriously, so you shouldn't be either. It's hardly high art, but who cares? It's awesome. Like I said, the film isn't taking itself seriously. There are countless jokes. There is probably some sort of sight gag, stupid line of dialogue, someone calling an alien a wanker. Something like that happens probably every minute or so. And if it doesn't, there's usually some other creative thing going on. Now look, not every joke in this lands. There are some sort of moments where people say things that were definitely supposed to get a laugh and they just fall completely flat. But there is something else about to happen so often that it doesn't really matter, because the film has a higher hit rate than it does miss rate, and it just constantly is giving you more and more. That goes in terms of the plot as well. It progresses so quickly. They get on to new set pieces so incredibly quickly. Probably because they didn't shoot this with a full script. Like I said, it started as a short film and then grew into a feature film. And they would basically just come up with something in the week and then film it on the weekend. So I think it's just a case of, oh, we can do that, put that in. Oh, we can do that as well, put that in next week. It's got that sort of vibe to it. And I think actually it really benefits. It does feel like a collection of stuff put together, but it works. Works far better than a lot of other films that have tried to do a similar thing.
We've got trouble.
Good word. Right, we're on our way.
It helps that there are a wonderful cast of bizarre characters. I mean, the boys themselves are all sort of bizarre, weird stereotypes. You have Barry, who's their leader, who is sort of bumbling, like very clumsy, constantly tripping over things. You have Ozzy and Frank, who are the sort of muscle, who are, you know, gun nuts and got cigars and rocket launchers and stuff like that. And then you have Derek, who's played by Peter Jackson himself, who is one of the best bizarre characters in anything. He's like the tech guy for the boys, and I mean, gets one of the best lines, one of my favourite lines in any film, and just he's so nerdy, weirdly sadistic, and just this genius creation. And I mean, the fact that Peter Jackson was directing this, wrote this, did all the special effects, it did so much, then acted in it. He's also one of the cannibals who has a fight with Derek at one point. So you go, what? How did he find time to do everything in this? And be good in it. I mean, it's hardly a realistic performance as either. There's a lot of doing cross-eyed face as a cannibal, but it's great. But everyone looks like they're having a great time doing it. they're all committed to it. You can tell that people are taking the fact that they're making the film seriously, but they're having a great time. And that doesn't always translate. You know, people having a fun time making a film can sometimes result in it not being fun for the audience. But here, it's really infectious, and I think you can tell that everyone just probably burst out laughing after they'd filmed a scene, and that's exactly what you're doing.
Tomorrow, wherever you for lunch.
The film was shot on 16mm, and I mean, look, it doesn't look amazing. It is a lot of people running around in a coastal town, you know, not much lighting. Some of the bits, they go into a mansion-y sort of house. Some of that's a bit dark, or at least it is in this really crap transfer, but more on that in a moment. But for all its sort of blokes running around in the woods or on a cliff, there's a lot of ingenuity on show. I mean, Peter Jackson built his own Steadicam, sort of gimbal thing for the camera to try and get smoother shots. I mean, there are just points where, like, you expect it to just be, okay, well, we'll have a tripod shot, we'll have a pan. But, like, there's a bit where, like, the camera just seems to, like, crane up over a roof, and you go, what? How? Who did this? What? How did you do that? There are points when they're shooting on, like, the cliffside, and you go, oh my god, either an actor is about to die, or the camera is going to just barrel over the... Like, the sheer, both sort of creativity on show that they went with, and sort of just gutsy, we'll do it, we might die, but it'll be worth it. It is so impressive. I mean, all of this extends as well to the wonderful special effects. I mean, you've got the gore in this is very strange, especially early on, because it's very gloopy. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it is actual guts, but they've just been washed, or whether it's like some sort of foamy, putty type stuff. It doesn't look particularly bloody or gory, but it is incredibly disgusting. I don't know why, but it is. It's horrible. It doesn't help. All of the sound in this is post-synced in, like the dialogue, the splats of gore, but they're really squelchy, horrible splatty sounds. So when you've got this sort of pink goop that is also the gore, it's genuinely quite disgusting. But I mean, again, it's all homemade. All the guns, at least up until a point, because they did start getting money from like the New Zealand Film Board by the end. But I mean, at the start, like a bunch of the guns were just made by the crew. The aliens that look brilliant. I mean, they're a brilliant design with their big bulbous heads and prominent butt cheeks. They were made in Peter Jackson's mom's kitchen, from what I've heard. I mean, gunshots, muzzle flashes were scratched into the film because that was the only way to do it. There's just a clear, like, joyous passion that went into doing the effects in this film. And again, do they look amazing all the time? No, not everything does. But it's so hard not to just respect the sheer, like, making a film that feels so much like the scope of the film is far bigger than it really should be. You know, if you had a proper producer come in, they'd go, there's no way you can make this film on however much money. But they did, and it's awesome. Like, really awesome. Speaking of things in this that are awesome, quote marks for this, awesome. The score by Michelle Scully, which is the most 80s over-the-top soundtrack possible. I mean, there is like so much guitar solo stuff and big drums and big synth. It's so excessive, especially in the action sequences. And there are points where you go, I don't know if this is being played quite properly, but it's awesome. Again, because it's so much bigger. You know, there are similar films that are just made on one synth going, ooh, that sort of sound. Whereas here, you've got something that approaches much more of a proper score. Okay, it can get annoying. There is like the menacing theme, is what I'll call it, gets played a lot. It's on a lot of scenes, and it's very recognisable. So you do start to go, oh my god, it's this bit of music again. Which is weird, because then, like I said, the action scenes seem to have bespoke music that is much more sort of... it's an odd one. But it's got so much charm, even when you're like, was that note in tune, or was the timing quite right on that? It's brilliant, because it just, again, has that thing of going for it, big time. I just really wish someone would do a better copy. I mean, I don't even think you can get this in the UK, because this is a German DVD that you have to have a rigmarole to turn the subtitles off. I think the first time we watched it with the German subtitles on, because we couldn't figure out how to get rid of them. It deserves a better... It deserves a better release. I don't know why there isn't even what appears to be an official UK release. I don't know what it's like in America. There might be a lovely restoration of it, because I think it looks really quite grotty at the moment. And I think, would your press in it perhaps reveal some more of the rubbish effects? You know, would it make the plastic or wooden seagull look more plastic or wooden? I couldn't tell which it was. Perhaps a high def version would let me know which it is. But I think it would just make it that bit more accessible, make it that bit more, you know, it's the first film from one of the most important filmmakers of like the 2000s, you know. I'm not a massive Lord of the Rings fan, but I have a huge amount of respect for what Peter Jackson did with those films. And I just think the fact... We're going into the final bit here, I'm moving away from the restoration thing. I just think, if you ever have wanted to make a film, wanted to get into the film industry, Bad Taste is the best thing you can watch, because you go, oh my god, the guy that made this made Lord of the Rings, made his version of King Kong, made Brain Dead, but it shows how just going for it, being creative, putting yourself out there, I mean, dedicating 4 years of your life to something that has this iconic poster, how it can pay off. You can take so much from watching this. And the fact that, yeah, it is ropey. It is just a bunch of mates running around on a cliff. But it's so entertaining. And I think it just... anyone should watch it and go, anyone can make a movie. Regardless of, you know, it's about dedication and desire, and it's a brilliant film. It's so entertaining. You don't have to watch it through the lens of it's cheap and it's a director's first. You could watch it, have no idea who Peter Jackson is, and still enjoy it, because it's great and full of brilliant, stupid dialogue, brilliant effects. Like, genuinely, some of them are fantastic. And just creativity. It's just pure creative fun. So if you haven't seen Bad Taste, do yourself a favour and watch it. And if you have seen it, let me know down in the comments what you think of it. Then, like and subscribe so you don't miss any more videos, and I will see you next time.